Let's bring in Professor Ravindranath from the Department of Ecology at the Indian Institute of Science, joining us from Bengaluru. Professor, thank you very much indeed for your time. So a major problem in those major Indian cities, and not just there either. Lahore in Pakistan, recently rated with the worst air quality in the world. What's going on?
Yeah, this problem is very well known for years. Every year it hits the headline during this season, and there are a lot of action, by governments, and even the Supreme Court has set very clear guidelines. The Pollution Control Board has clear guidelines, but still, I think there's a combination of factors, particularly burning of crop residue in rural areas, in the neighboring states. I think that's one of the factors that they're unable to control till now.
Yeah, well, look, I've been to India a couple of times, and I've been to many of those rural areas where people do burn their rubbish. And when I looked at that and thought, that cannot be good for the environment, I couldn't see another option.
Yeah, it's definitely, a good practice would be to incorporate crop residue into soil. There are machines available. It's a recommended practice for agriculture to improve soil fertility, but farmers find it cheaper to burn. It costs nothing for them to burn, and tomorrow morning they start plowing for the next crop. So there are economic incentives for the farmers to do it, but the incentives may not be adequate for farmers to shift to other better practice.
So what are authorities going to do about it? We hear that the local government in Lahore is putting in a series of measures, but that is a city of some 14 million people and an awful lot of cars as well. It doesn't feel like the problem can be transformed very quickly.
No, not at all, because this is happening for several years. Every year during, October, November, this is happening. It hits the headlines. And once, this few weeks are over, then everybody forgets. So the problem is there are so many transport pollution, there's little you can do other than probably, banning some cars and so on for a few days. You can shut down the schools, ask people to wear masks, but no long-term solution has been really implemented. Solutions are there. Package of practices have been suggested for managing crop residue, for industrial work, for building construction activity, for pollution. But the problem remains. The pollution remains throughout the year, but it gets acute during this season.
Professor, thank you very much indeed for your analysis. Professor Ravindranath there from the Indian Institute of Science.